How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Can You game on it. I question myself, like, why is this a thing? But it's already a thing and I feel really cool doing it. It feels like I'm doing a jutsu from Naruto. Anyways, this week on Can You game on it, we are back with the unicorn puke, but in a minus size. Yes, that's right, guys. We are reviewing this week the Lenovo Legion 7i Slim. Guys, look, it's so colorful! Okay, CK, do the intro. Alright guys, as I said before, this week we are reviewing the slimmer version of a laptop we've reviewed before, the Lenovo Legion 7i Slim. This laptop boasts 18 millimeters in thinness. Look at that! And it also comes with beefy specs. Speaking of specs, let's talk about that first. The RTX 2060 Max-Q graphics card, coupled with it, the Intel Core i7 10th Gen, 1 terabytes of internal storage, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. 16 is a lot. You can run anything on it, but how does it go when you game on it? Now, let's talk about the design first. Visually, looks similar to the previous laptop that we reviewed, but more compact, which I really like. I have a thing for compact laptops. Big, bulky gaming laptops, yes, very strong. But do I like it? No. Too big. Cannot fit in my small bag. But this one's very thin. I like it a lot. 15 inches in size. Look at the bezels. Very skinny. It's like someone went on a diet. If you see the keyboard over here, everything is pretty good. You have a full-size keyboard. You have the number pad. Now let's talk about something that I'm not really too happy about this. It's great. It has everything, but like everyone, no one is perfect. Let's talk about the ports. Okay, so for this one, because it is the Slim, it does come with the ports that you need. It does come with a memory card reader, which I'm very happy about. A mic and headphone jack combo over here. You have 2 Thunderbolt Type-Cs, and in the back here, you also have 2 3.0 USB ports as well as the power. So what is it that is missing, Tash? I don't know. Well, let me tell you what's missing. HDMI port. Well, granted, you can connect your monitor via the Thunderbolt Type-C, but the thing is, my connector to my capture card only comes with a standard HDMI, and I'm gonna have to buy a dongle. Is this a bad thing? Not really. Is it a tragedy? Not really. Am I being too dramatic? Definitely, absolutely. Okay, now that we've covered all that, now let's talk about this laptop's performance. Now, when it comes to laptops that are very, very skinny, slim, thin, sleek, sure, they're powerful, but one big trade-off has always been cooling. But we'll get into that later. Now, let's talk about what games we have tried on this laptop. Alright, so Monster Hunter, on default, it is already on the highest graphics, and boy, it was so smooth, it was beautiful, I just can't. And no signs of crashing at all, I love it so much. Okay, now let's move on to Warzone. Running on that game is very, very smooth. I loved it a lot. The screen, what I liked about it is because I'm able to play on high graphics, but I kind of like turned down some stuff so it won't get convoluted. But I felt like when I played the game, I was more aware, probably because of how sharp the display is. And honestly, the experience playing Warzone on this laptop was so good. I really like it. And honestly, no frame drops, no lags, no tears, no stutters. It's just one of those weird moments where I thought, oh my god, am I good at this game? Okay, now let's move on to Overwatch. So Overwatch is something I decided to pick up for this. It's because it's very, very heavy on the CPU usage. I noticed when I played Overwatch, it's still also very, very smooth. Actually, one of like the smoothest Overwatch gameplays I've had. Now let's move on as well to Valorant. So Valorant, just to check that smooth FPS. So this laptop does come with a 144Hz display, but in the client itself, the game is able to render between 230 to 290 FPS on the highest settings, which is very, very great in my opinion. So that means you have an edge over the bad guys. Yes, I'm talking about you, Sage mains. and we're gonna snipe some mother chuckers.
No.
Yes, you thought I was gonna say a bad word? No, it was not.
Blasphemous.
Okay, now let's move on to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is what we generally use to benchmark most games because it does come with RTX. Now, I kind of like juiced up a little bit on how I wanted to test the laptop. So I tried benchmarking first as usual. When you go on high graphics with high RTX, according to the benchmarks, you average on 12 FPS. And if you go for high graphics and medium RTX, you get 36 FPS. And lastly, high graphics with RTX off, you average at 66 FPS. But the thing is, while the FPS averages look really low, let me just tell you my experience playing the game altogether. Now, when I played high graphics RTX off, as usual expected, it's going to be very smooth gameplay, very beautiful, still stunning, but it's not as stunning as having RTX on. Now, most laptops that I have played games with RTX on will struggle. I honestly realize it will get really hot and will start to have frame drops, which is why I'm not surprised that during benchmarking, you have a 12 FPS average or a 36 FPS average. But surprisingly, playing this game on high graphics, medium RTX was really good. I didn't feel like it was super low graphics. It was definitely playable. It was still quite smooth. It was actually okay. It was not bad. And I was just curious to see, since I can play RTX medium, can I play RTX high? And that's when I start to worry that I'm gonna start seeing huge frame drops. Now, I played the game in the jungle area, which means that there's more textures and foliage. But the thing is, even though in the benchmark it says it's 12 FPS, it's actually not even that bad. It's beautiful. The frame drops are stable. It's not stuttery. It is actually one of the most amazing experiences I've had playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And I'm very, very happy with it. Now let's all talk about the next thing, which are the speakers. So the speakers for this laptop is done by Dolby Atmos. It comes with dual speakers, and honestly, it is so good in terms of cinematics wise, in terms of gaming. Like, I definitely 100% recommend it. But this goes on to our next thing, which is heat. So I'm gonna kind of like mix these two together because I feel like the problem kind of overlaps. So now the heat for this laptop is actually not that bad. It's okay. It has around 77 to around 82 degrees Celsius when you're gaming on it on high. While it does get a little bit uncomfortable to game on that, surprisingly, I'm very happy to say that it doesn't get hot on top of the keyboard itself, so it's very comfortable to type on. But if you put your hand like right up here, you are gonna feel the heat. It's actually really hot, so maybe just it's not that noticeable, but if you put it like this, then yeah, you're gonna feel your hands start cooking. So when you're gaming on it on highest, the problem is the fan gets really, really loud. Like, I'm not kidding. Now, if you want to game with the speakers, I recommend that you bump the audio all the way up to mask the sound of the speakers. Honestly, around like 50 to 60% is already okay to mask it, but I'm gonna just say that it's pretty loud. The speakers are really loud. Now, let's talk about something else that I found really weird on this laptop. So let's just call it a dual display issue. So this laptop, obviously you can see here, only comes with one monitor, and I'm not connected to any other monitors, but I found that when you open up display settings, it shows that you have two monitors, which is very, very strange. And then when you pick one and you try to change anything, the menu just disappears. So sometimes when I'm running games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I realize that the game will say like it's incompatible with the monitor. So what I had to do was I needed to go to the NVIDIA control panel, pick my display settings, and then choose if I want to do it on optimized or if I only want to use the NVIDIA GPU. I recommend that you click on NVIDIA GPU so it doesn't switch over to the CPU by accident, causing a cross between hardwares. And that's all you need to know about the Lenovo Legion 7i Slim. Now, the golden question is, can you game on the Lenovo Legion 7i Slim? Wow, can you say that 10 times really, really fast? Yes, you can. Okay, yeah. So yes, you can. You totally can game on this on pretty much any game, and it's just really, really good. Now, let's just kind of talk a bit about what I liked and didn't really like about it. So what I liked was I really liked the monitor. I really liked the design. I really like how powerful it is. And I really, really like the speaker. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of the no HDMI port. This is a preference thing. And last and definitely not least, I'm not a big fan of the dual display issue. Would I recommend this laptop? 100%, go get it. It's a really good laptop. And speaking of that, don't tell Adrian that I am not going to give this laptop back because now this laptop is property of Tash. Just because. Look at that beautiful RGB rainbow puke. Okay, bye.